Hello, spooky and wonderful internet friends. This is just a quick disclaimer from your co-host, Natalie, that we have a little bit of a fluctuation in audio this week. It's a special episode that is basically a conversation around the table, and as such, the audio is not the best, but it's also not the worst. Like the episode's called, Trick or Treat, You Decide. Happy Halloween, everyone. Be safe, and thanks for sticking with us. The Bones and Bobbins podcast is now on Patreon. Would you like access to bonus episodes, digital extras, exclusive merch, and more? Join us in the Curiosity Shop at patreon.com/Bones and Bobbins. Your generous support helps make the show happen and will also earn you our very eternal gratitude. And entry into our private Patreon-only Facebook group. But it's all kinds of fun and it's super drama-free. So, join us.
In a dusty old shop on a forgotten old street, you'll find two witches with books 3 boxes deep. Next to rusty old needles and faded red thread, you'll come in for yarn, but leave with pigments instead. Whether poisons or patterns, we're always discreet, where creepy and crafty and morbidity meet. Welcome to the Bones and Bobbins podcast.
Hello, morbid makers! We are your
Slightly creepy,
mildly disconcerting,
somewhat sinister,
delightfully discomposed,
opaquely odd,
merrily morbid,
marvelously misanthropic
hosts. And this is Bones and Bobbins, Season 2, Episode 21.5, Trick or Treat, You Decide. Hello, I am Natalie from Uber Designs, an official true crime creative. My pronouns are she, her, and this week, sadly, Haley, my partner in creepy, crafty crime, is unable to join us. So I did what any okay-ish parent would do. I roped my offspring into filling in for this very special Halloween episode. Offspring?
Hi!
This is where you introduce yourself.
I'm the youngest offspring. You can just call me monkey number 1. My pronouns are she, her. Hi, my name is Grace. My pronouns are they, them. That's all I got.
When introductions give your teenage children an existential crisis as to who they really are, you know you're doing it right.
Why
or wrong.
Like that?
So,
we really call this out, guys.
So, are you guys excited to be on?
Yeah, so excited! Woo! The crowd goes wild. Oh! I'm like super stressed right now, and like not even sure I'm fully conscious. But like I do like all the creepy crafty things. And I love the podcast, but I this is gonna sound really bad.
Oh no, I've discussed it.
I can't listen to it because I can't hear my mom's voice in that act. Like it's so weird and it messes with my head.
My
so I can't listen
disembodied
to it.
voice.
And it's like it's not because I don't want to listen to it. It's just like my brain cannot comprehend that it is like my mom, but not my mom talking to me.
And that's okay, because all brains are different, and we welcome them all.
It's great, though, because when I'm like, oh, what are you guys doing this week? I get one of two answers. It's either, we don't know yet. Or it's like a 30-minute spiel on how interesting it is. So.
Excuse me, we always know what we're doing. We're thoroughly prepared and nothing but utmost professionals.
Give me an A for effort on that one.
Even they know better.
Okay, anyways.
So, what's your favorite thing about Halloween?
Okay, you can go first. It's not haunted house planning.
I think I mentioned, did I mention? Probably not. My eldest is planning the school's haunted house, and what is the amazing theme of this haunted house?
Coraline.
Yes!
Which is not Tim Burton's Coraline, because Tim Burton has nothing to do with Coraline. But I did, in fact, mistakenly email Zoe, who is our development director, saying Tim Burton's Coraline, and it is not Tim Burton's Coraline.
It's not the director of Coraline's Coraline. either.
No, it's Neil Gaiman's storyline.
Thank you. See, I'm kind of raising them right. Indeed, it is. And I am the overachieving mom that roped the neighbor into 3D printing button cookie cutters.
For our shortbread cookies.
Yes.
So if you're in the area...
By the time this is actually going to come out...
It's already be over.
No, it's the day of.
Oh,
this will release on Friday.
You're magically listening to this on Friday, October 29th.
Yes.
And you're not doing anything from 7 to 10 p.m. Like, if you know what I'm talking about when I say I go to youth, then you probably know where we are.
You're gonna have to...
And then you could go.
Just remember that I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts.
Oh, yeah?
I am very definitely a mama bear, and I know how to cauterize a wound, so don't stalk my children. And do not threaten them.
Dude, I don't even know her last name.
Anyways, it's my turn.
So what, pray tell, is your favorite part of Halloween?
Okay, well, I like dressing up a lot. I feel like a badass every year. This year I literally don't have a costume yet, if I'm even going to have one, but it's great. I like dressing up. I like being somebody, I feel like being out of my own skin, but also in my own skin at the same time. If that makes any sense.
It does. You get to emphasize parts of your character.
Fun fact, favorite Halloween costume I think I've ever done so far is my punk rock Ariel. Punk rock Little Mermaid. That was pretty great.
My favorite was when you were a flying monkey and I was Elphaba and you were little Elphaba. You insisted on the theatrical production outfit.
Oh, I do remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, before we dive in, I would like to take a quick break to thank all of our fantastic Curiosity Shop members over on Patreon and give a totally normal and not at all creepy welcome to our newest members, Melanie Sims and Amelia Smith. Amelia, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but you guys are the best, and we would totally go explore hidden old graveyards in the wood with you, even on All Hallows Eve. And if you want in on this fun, not only will you get some really great surprises that we're working on, but you'll get a huge backlog of Patreon-only episodes. And you don't need to stick around. Try it out. Listen to some. If we're not for you, that's cool too. We get it. It's all right. So, it's almost Halloween.
Yep.
We have guest hosts. So, we're going to shake up our usual format just a little bit. The first idea that they had when we were planning this episode was to pay homage to everyone's favorite creepy poet, Poe. So, we're each going to read a poem of his that we like. Which one of you would like to go first?
Not me.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I picked one that is probably not as known, published in 1843, called The Conqueror Worm. Lo, 'tis a gala night within the lonesome latter years, an angel throng bewinged benight in veils and drowned in tears. Sit in a theater to see a play of hopes and fears, while the orchestra breathes fitfully the music of the spears. Mimes in the form of God on high mutter and mumble low, and hither and thither fly, mere puppets they who come and go. At bidding of vast formless things they shift the scenery to and fro, flapping from out their condor wings, invisible woe. That motley drama, oh be sure, it shall not be forgot, with its phantom chased forevermore by a crowd that sees it not, through a circle that ever returneth into the self-same spot, and much of madness and more of sin and horror, the soul of this plot. BC amid the mimic rout, a crawling shape intrude, a blood-red thing that rise from out the scenic solitude. It rise with mortal pangs, this mind becomes its food, and seraph sobs at vermin fangs and human gore imbued. Out are all the lights, out, and over each quivering form, the curtain of funeral pall comes down with the rush of a storm, while angels all pallid and wan, uprising, unveiling, affirm that the play is the tragedy man, and its hero, the conquering worm.
In case you're wondering, that is exactly as dramatic as she read every single bedtime story as a kid.
So, okay, one of you's got to go next. Which one's it going to be?
Okay, so I'm doing The Raven.
The Raven.
Edgar Allan Poe. I like this a lot, actually. I did an assignment in school about it one time, and I had looked into it more and saw this, like, animated video of it. It was pretty great. I'm not that enthusiastic and dramatic when it comes to reading things. Once upon a midnight jury, while I pondered weak and query over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of some gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. Ah, distinctly I remember, it was in bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrote its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the narrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare radiant maiden, whose angel's name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken head uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic horrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. That is it, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating no longer. "Sir," I said, or madam, "truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is, I was napping, so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door. That I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened the wide door. Darkness, there was nothing more."
Very good. You don't like my mod poet house
How was a raven
snaps?
with a writing desk?
Did you know that the riddle, how is a raven like a writing desk, was never to be solved? It was not.
Great, because I forgot what the answer was anyway.
There actually is no specific answer. We covered it on the show too. There is one that he got cornered into saying, but he was like, yeah, it was never meant to be actually answered. Little fun fact. Your turn.
Why are you going to say it like that? So I chose a haunted... I chose a haunted palace. In case you don't know who the author is, and you weren't paying any attention, it's Edgar Allan Poe. I did not do enough research to know what year it is.
Oh, I know mine. Mine was 1845.
1845?
Thank you both.
Nicely done. Which one are you doing? I'm sorry.
The Haunted Palace.
The Haunted Palace is from 1839.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
In the greenest of our valleys, by God's angels tended, once a fair and stately palace, radiant palace, reared its head. In the monarch's thought dominion, it stood there, never scrap opinion, over fabric half so fair. Banners yellow, glorious, golden, on its roof did float and flow. All this was in the olden time long ago. And every gentle air that dallied, in that sweet day, along the ramparts hummed and pallied, a winged odor went away. Wanderers in that happy valley through two luminous windows saw spirits moving musically to a lute's well-tuned law. Round about a throne where sitting Jean, in his state, his glory well benefiting, the ruler of the realm was seen. And all with pearl and ruby glowing was the fair palace door, through which came flowing, and sparkling evermore, a troop of echoes whose sweet duty was but to sing, in voices of surpassing beauty, the wit and wisdom of their king. But evil things in robes of sorrow assailed the monarch's high estate. All let us mourn forever morrow shall drawn upon him desolate. And round about his home to glory, that blushed and bloomed is but the dim remembered story of the old timed entombed. And travelers now within that valley, through the red-lit windows see vast forms that move frantically to a discordant melody. While like a ghastly rapid river, through the pale door, a hideous throng rush out forever, and laugh, but smile no more.
Very good. Very, very good.
Reading Poe very much feels like a tongue twister when you read that loud.
Seriously, I was just thinking while you're reading that, from now on, if I ever suspect you guys, which I never do because you guys are wonderful children, but however, if I ever guess that you've been under the influence of anything, I'm going to make you read Poe poem. That's it.
Seriously, instead of red leather, yellow leather, we should just be reading Poe.
Kick it with some Poe. All right, now we each chose a mini Halloween themed topic. So not as extensive as we typically do, but super fun. Which one of my wonderful offspring would like to go first?
Trick question, it's you.
Me? You want me to go first? Yeah. I'll go first. That's fine. Okay, so that look upon your face, like mwahaha. So it's freaking bats. So I love me some sky puppies, love. They're adorable and they eat my arch nemesis, mosquitoes. But I got to wondering why bats are associated with Halloween. So let's take just a tiny toe dip into some research and find out why. So there's 3 schools of thought on the correlation between bats and Halloween. The first one, they're nocturnal and people are weird. So many experts say that nocturnal animals are often associated with death and darkness. According to Stanford University classic scholar Adrian Mayer, as told to the National Geographic, they engage in mysterious activities in the dark, and so they've been cloaked in superstition since ancient times. And bats are particularly spooky. The combination of dark gray, brown, or black shades with cryptic nighttime habits evoked a sense of awe and fear back in the time when the only lights at night were oil lamps and wax candles. The Library of Commerce chimes in with the fact that their nocturnal nature, combined with the fact that they typically live in caves, adds quite a bit to the whole spooky factor. So we got nocturnal, weird looking, live in caves. No, you are not winged. Second up, we got vampires. So our friends of the Library of Congress, for shoes, Congress, Library of Congress, say it's not clear when bats became associated with vampires, but examples in vampire fiction of the late 1700s and 1800s, they do appear. So the best known example of this genre is Bram Stoker's 1897 Dracula. And it has vampires turning into bats at will. I thought it well to know, if possible, where the Count would go when he left the house. I did not see him, but I saw a bat rise from Renfield's window and flap westward, the character Quincy Morris recounts. Now, people tend to think that bats are associated with vampires because of the whole blood-sucking thing. And while there are indeed 3 species of bats that do eat blood, there are over 1,300, closer to 1,400 actually, that do not. So, lastly, which kind of brings us full circle to the first one of the whole ancient times, but yet not all the way back to ancient times, bats have been associated with Halloween for hundreds of years thanks to Samhain, which is a Celtic harvest festival, which we covered last year at this time on the podcast. Celebrations involve lighting bonfires, which attract bugs, which then in turn attract bug-munching bats. In a slightly different theory, Nate Fuller, a graduate student in Boston University's bat biology program, told Quartz Online publication that when Irish and Scottish immigrants came to the United States, they began to associate bats with Samhain because of the timing. Some species of bats will hibernate or fly south for the winter. So in the northern US, you can see them swarming in October and November. Now, whether you think them creepy or love the little adorable sky puppies like I do, bats are super helpful to the environment. According to the National Wildlife Foundation, these little bug eaters save us between $3.7 and $54 billion in pet control services every year. They also help pollinate over 700 plants, including some of my favorites like avocados, bananas, peaches, and mangoes. And that, my dear children, are why bats are associated with Halloween. Wow!
No, I don't know what to... Like, do I clap? I don't know if it's gonna, like, be too loud on the microphone.
No, but I mean...
That was interesting.
So interesting that a hush fell over the crowd.
No. It was good. I have a question for you.
Yeah?
How theoretically, unrelated,
Yeah?
would you, like, get to pet it?
I'm sure Hagrid can make that happen, as he saves bats on a regular basis.
This is true. Anyways.
Uncle Hagrid got you. We'll call Uncle Hagrid and be like, hey, we want to pet a bat.
Unrelated. You feel like taking a road trip to Uncle Hagrid?
I will take a road trip to huggle a little bat.
Okay.
Also, it is not totally a fact that there's a misconception that all bats carry rabies, and that is not accurate as well. I don't recall the statistic that I saw off the top of my head, but they're so stinking cute.
Very good. Alright, who's next?
Clearly you don't want it to be you, so I'm gonna just get mine out the way.
Get out the way. Oof.
No, it's not like that, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't like that, Shawty.
Invite your kids on a podcast, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
Who's they?
I don't know.
Okay, hi everyone. Ladies, gentlemen, gentle them. No, all of them. All the things I didn't cover as well.
He, she's, and theys.
He, she's,
And everything in
theys,
between.
And everything in between.
Yep.
I am covering Halloween tales and traditions. So, something I think we all wonder about is why the hell witches are connected to brooms? Why is it that witches
that's a good
fly
one.
around on brooms? What's so special about something people use every day? You know? I wondered that too. So apparently the association between witches and brooms have roots in a pagan fertility ritual in which, like, rural farmers would go out at night and do what is called a broom dance to try to, like, have better crops.
Okay. Crops is not where I thought that was going. I got a little nervous for a second.
Oh no, it became confused with, like, common accounts of, like, witches flying through the night and all of that. But yeah, it was to help growth in their crops. Crazy, right?
That is.
Another thing, haunted houses.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Many people probably, myself included before reading this, thought that haunted houses were just like old creepy houses people don't go in. Like, they're just creepy, scary, you know? For no reason. So, what had happened was, during the Great Depression, the period leading up to the Great Depression was like 1933.
So that was before Grandma and Grandpa were even born.
Yeah. Basically, boys were known to cause mischief on Halloween. That was their, like, free day. Although their parents were very ticked off. They do things like flipping cars, like...
Flipping a car? That's a little bit more than
cow.
mischief, right?
Vandalism, all that jazz. And so, haunted houses became something, like, They're already scary. They're already old and abandoned. Mm-hmm. And that's where they started them because they thought it would attract all the boys.
So they're trying to lure them.
So they're like, come to me, mother truckers. Don't cause mischief outside in the real world.
Stop flipping my Ford.
Stop screwing shit up.
Well, okay then.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
that's interesting.
I think that's quite interesting, actually.
I have a love-hate thing with haunted houses.
Oh, we know.
Right now, I just have a hate thing with haunted houses.
Well, yeah. I mean.
Next thing on my list, jack-o'-lanterns.
Yes.
Why do we carve faces into pumpkins? What? Why are they called jack-o'-lanterns? Why are pumpkins just a fall thing? Well, it's because they're fall crop. They grow in the fall time. That's kind of obvious.
Their seeds are tasty, as are their pulps.
So it's an Irish myth about a man who was nicknamed Stingy Jack.
We're Irish.
And it's believed, like, it led to the tradition of carving scary faces into gourds and pumpkins. Because apparently Jack tried to tricked the devil into paying for his drink, and then traps him in the form of a coin. And then eventually the devil takes revenge, and Stingy Jack ends up roaming the earth for all eternity without a place in heaven or hell. However, he has like a lighted coal. Like, he has like a lighted coal, which is placed inside of a carved turnip, creating the original jack-o'-lantern. So he got turned into a flaming coal, and
a turnip?
And yeah, the first one was a turnip.
That must have been a really flippin' big turnip.
And ever since then, where jack-o'-lanterns came from. Huh.
Stingy Jack.
There's a couple.
You can keep going.
Okay, there's one. I don't know if anyone's heard about the Spottings of Abraham Lincoln's ghost in the White House.
Yes, we've covered Abraham Lincoln quite a bit, but if you want to tell us specifically about his ghost, that's cool.
Okay, so for years, presidents and first ladies and guests, members of the White House, have claimed to either have seen Abraham Lincoln, or felt his presence, or Grace Coolidge, which is a wife of Calvin Coolidge, which was 30th president. The first report of seeing Abraham Lincoln's ghost was a lady. She stood at a window in the Oval Office, and hands clapped behind his back, and then seeing like bloody battlefields. Like, he was possessed, I guess, by Abraham Lincoln's ghost, and saw the bloody battlefields,
okay, I get it.
The shooting of when Abraham Lincoln died, everything. It's just all Abraham Lincoln's past. Things just were flowing through. And it's something that these people have never experienced before, so they have no clue why they would be having quote-unquote flashbacks.
Right.
And it's known to, I don't know what it is that triggers it, but, if I had to guess why he's haunting the White House, it's probably because, he was president. Obviously, he didn't get to live out his full time as president.
True.
He died, obviously. Most people know that, but if you didn't know, got assassinated, my bad.
Actually, our last episode, I covered the first female detective who worked for the Pinkertons, who uncovered the majority of the plot to try to assassinate him way before he was even not way before, but before he was even president.
Yeah. Another thing is we've had some pretty dingbat presidents. Not gonna say any names because politics aren't a thing we need to get in arguments about on these lovely ladies' podcasts. Okay. Yeah.
We have indeed.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna say because I feel awkward.
I did.
Right now, so I'm done.
That's okay. You're doing great. I'm very proud of you. All right. So we've talked bats. We've talked some really amazing, fun Halloween facts. Take it away, Eldest, with some. I think if you ask anybody, if you did a poll on people's fears, this one's easily the top 5. Okay.
Is it snakes?
Drum roll, please.
Spiders? No, it's Giggles the mother freaking clown. Okay, so not specifically a clown named Giggles. If you do clown gigs and your name is Giggles, I'm sorry.
My clown name was Piffle.
I forgot you were a clown. Yeah. Why do you hate me? Okay. So specifically, I will be talking about what's called the Clown Panic of 2016.
Oof.
When I was researching this topic, I was like, oh, that was not long ago. I remember that. For reference,
baby.
I'm a senior in high school.
But a baby senior.
And this happened when I was in 7th grade. This is 5 years old, and it doesn't feel like it. Because I remember this happening. So this phenomena, despite being at its largest in October of 2016, actually started back in August of 2016 with incidents in Greenville, South Carolina, where clowns were spotted in the woods, quote, whispering and making strange noises.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Uh-huh. But, you know, have fun with that, Piffle.
I was not that kind of clown.
So, these sightings became more and more frequent, to the point where the Cumbria police in England at one point responded to 14 incidents over the span of 24 hours.
In England?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that it was, like, global.
No, this turned global, and it was huge in England, specifically with scaring little children.
I think it scared a lot of friggin' people, man.
And although it may have started with, like, whispering or weird noises, it grew so intense that, these clowns were often seen, with knives or baseball bats.
Nope. Mm-mm.
And would often stand in parking structures or in the middle of roads at night to scare drivers.
That's the bullshit that I saw on TV and was like, that is an excellent way to get yourself killed. Because if you jumped out at me when I was driving, I would not slam on the brakes.
No, Bambi can go. You though?
No, nope, I'll stop for a deer. You, on the other hand, if you're holding a knife and you're dressed in a clown outfit, we are not going to tango tonight.
Some incidents were reported more seriously, including a woman in Alabama calling 911 after seeing a clown in a Walmart parking lot in the middle of the night. Now, if I was leaving Walmart after like at 2 a.m., I need chocolate ice cream because I just got dumped, and I like walk out of the Walmart and I'm like dragging my ass back to my car and I see freaking Pennywise standing there, I wouldn't even call 911. I would get in my car, lock the doors, and hit him on my way home to cry. Anyways, as well as a man in Kentucky being arrested for dressing up like a clown and hiding in the woods.
Good!
As he should. It even got to the point where it was so bad that schools in Ohio closed down because of these.
What?
Yeah, there were schools in Ohio that, not like permanently closed down.
Right, no, I get it.
There were a couple weeks where they were like, nah, just stay in that house. Although most of these, like, attacks or sightings were fairly harmless. Around the same time, there was a teenager wearing a clown mask that ended up getting stabbed to death in Pennsylvania.
Ooh, okay.
Not that the person with the clown mask stabbed somebody to death.
Right, yeah.
The person wearing the clown mask was stabbed to death.
That's sad.
It is mentioned in the police report that he had pulled the mask up before the man started stabbing him.
Ooh,
It didn't change that it happened.
Yeah, no, that's really sad. That's horrible.
And although we joke about, like, I'd hit that bitch with my car, I would not hit somebody. Like, I wouldn't actually injure somebody.
No.
Especially
I would turn
if
the
they
car.
stop.
Right. Well, yeah. No, I mean, it is a very dangerous situation because there are so many people. It's common knowledge that many people are fearful of clowns. I mean, they're the subject of many horror movies for a reason. To put yourself in that position is not wise.
Yeah.
And people don't. It's hard to tell how you're going to react in a situation, until you're in that situation, and it's just dangerous. And that my heart breaks for a kid that was just wearing a clown mask.
There's also there's that knowledgeability of when something is okay. If you're doing it during some place where people know they're gonna get scared versus in everyday life. Yeah.
But even then, I mean, I suck at haunted houses. You touch me, there's fight. It's usually fight or flight.
Uh-huh.
I will hit you first and then run.
So that being said, despite most incidents not actually physically harming anybody, a lot of these clown sightings, incidents, whatever you want to call them, end up mentally damaging people.
Yeah.
Why would seeing a clown mentally damage you? Well, it's not seeing a clown, it's the fact that several instances included people being chased by said clowns with knives or baseball bats.
Oh, yeah.
That's so messed up.
It is.
There was a woman who called 911 after being chased down her street barefoot by a clown with a knife.
Oof.
So after all of this, why are we afraid of clowns in the first place?
Because them things are freaking creepy as hell. Like, bye.
Well, the knives don't help.
What?
If somebody came at me with a knife in a clown costume, come at me.
Well,
But most clowns don't typically carry knives.
despite the knives not helping, several studies have presented real reasons why we don't seem to find giggles all that funny at all. A 2006 study by a social psychologist named Frank McAndrew concluded that many of the behaviors of a clown align with behaviors people tend to be off-put by, such as sudden movements, unpredictable behaviors, unstable eye contact, and over-exaggerated motions. That being said, it was also found that men are more likely to scare people. And many clowns statistically are male. Or male presenting. Additionally, a theory posed by Rami Nader says that, who is a Canadian sociologist, says that the excessive makeup concealing the clown's identity can be off-putting, because you do not know who it is.
That makes sense.
The last theory I'm going to talk about is one posed by Adam Cox, who is a phobia specialist.
Okay.
Who concluded that the nature of the makeup of clowns being recognizable as human, but also not fully there.
Yeah.
It's almost like how like really good VR or like just really good 3D animation that's very detailed and lifelike, but you can tell is still animation, can feel so off-putting. Yeah. Like if you've ever heard of Lil Michaela, who was really big actually right around like 2016, 2017, 2018-ish, as a social media influencer who was like VR and almost looked real but wasn't. And it was so off-putting. And so the theory he's posing here is that idea of that makeup being recognizable as a human person but not human is part of why it's so off-putting. That's also why we find things like werewolves and vampires, like things that are human but not quite. Creepy dolls, anthropomorphic things. Yeah. That's why we find those things so off-putting, is because we recognize them as part of our species even when they're necessarily not. Or not necessarily.
That makes sense. So, did we ever find what caused the phenomenon? I know for a while they were wondering if it was like a promo for a movie.
There was a lot of speculation over what it was, but there's no like real concrete reason. The reason I choose to believe is that 2016 was ginormous for YouTube and Vine.
Attempting to go viral?
Yeah, those, if you were on YouTube or Vine,
That makes sense.
Tons of videos of these scenarios. Even people just, like, pranking their friends by doing this.
Right. But that was, I'm guessing that was probably the start of the attempt to go viral, and the knowledge that viral content has the ability to make you money if you're monetized on YouTube or get you notoriety of some sort.
Yeah. It was,
You whippersnappers and your darn interwebs.
I think that had a big part in it, but I also think it was part of, like, that human nature of, like, being bored in rural America and wanting to do something, and that something being, like, messing around with your friends and scaring people, and, like...
Go egg a house. Go toilet paper a tree. Waste some resources. Don't cause PTSD.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, like lots of trends, it doesn't start out with bad intentions.
Right.
Like, there's probably some people goofing around in the woods that some, like, Karen called the police on because she didn't like there were kids messing around looking all weird.
You know, I am not Karen-esque. However, if I was in some woods and there's a group of clowns just in the woods...
That's true.
Whispering, I would have some questions that I would not stop and ask because I would be too busy getting out of there.
Like,
but that would, I mean, that's
true.
It's concerning. It's concerning.
I feel like, yeah, I think part of it is especially around this, like, September, October time.
Spooky season.
When, like, clown costumes are super accessible.
Mm-hmm.
This is also, I kind of want to Google it to double check that I'm not putting misinformation. But I believe this is, like, right around the time the new It came out. Maybe, like, a year earlier. Like, and this is coming off of, a movie called Murderous Clowns or Killer Clowns.
Yeah, the new It came out in September 8th, 2017.
Yeah.
So it would be the year beforehand, but it was already in the making, and...
It was already in the making.
Hype started.
Heavily talked about, and also coming off of a really popular 2014 movie that I believe is titled Just Clowns, maybe it's Killer Clowns, which is another clown-based horror movie.
You guys aren't scared. You're not scared of clowns, are you? You've never...
If I saw one with a knife...
Right. I mean, that's anything with the knife. I don't care if it's your... Yeah, seriously. It could be your grandma holding a knife, and I'd still question if she weren't in the kitchen.
I wouldn't. Our grandma's like...
That's true. She's squishy. But it's not like I've exposed her...
I don't trust anything that's 4'11" and moves that fast at 70.
She ain't 70 yet, you homo!
Yes, she is!
Oh, no!
She's over... Yeah.
I thought she was like 60-something.
No,
So,
I don't trust anything with joints that good at age 70.
Right? Speaking of things that scare you...
Yeah.
Now we are going to talk about some scary stories. We each have a scary story, right?
Yeah.
Who wants to go first? The youngest?
No, I went first every time.
You left us on a cliffhanger. Tell us.
Oh, that's right. I started telling him the story last night. I was like, no, I'm going to finish it for the podcast because then I can see your actual reaction. So, I'm trying to remember. I think I want to say it was in like 7th grade. And it was the first time I was babysitting for this family. They were out at something. It was somebody my dad worked with. And I knew they lived with their grandfather lived with them. But he wasn't there. And he had this tiny little Pomeranian who was adorable but pretty crazy and would randomly just lose its shit in this like cage. And me being me, I was literally reading Cujo, which was not smart. Right. Not smart because this, dog would randomly just crazy pants it. So the night before I was babysitting, I was at a slumber party. And, slumber parties, you do things like Ouija boards and tell, scary stories. And there was allegedly, an urban legend where this girl was babysitting for a family, and the washing machine kept going off and on. So, and she had the kids in bed, and she was kind of bored. So she called the parents, and she's like, hey, I don't mean to bug you, but do you want me to flip the laundry for you? And they're like, excuse me? And she's like, well, the washing machine keeps going off and on. Do you want me to grab it and throw it in the dryer? And they're like, no. What I want you to do is grab the kids, lock yourself in the bathroom, and call 911. She was like, okay, but why? And they're like, because the washer and dryer were just delivered and they're not hooked up yet. And when the police arrived, there was a man sitting on top of the dryer with a knife in his hand and a smile on his face. Scary, right? When you're younger. So, again, I'm babysitting, reading Cujo.
So it looks like I'm never going in the basement again. Y'all can stay safe though, doing laundry. Have fun with that. Laundry mat, here I come.
So, I'm sitting there reading, and I hear something in the basement. And I'm like, no, I did not hear that. That did not happen. I hear another noise in the basement, and I'm like, nope, it's a squirrel, it's a mouse, it's a something. No. And then I hear footsteps on the stairs.
No.
And I am like, oh, hell no.
The mother trucking no, honey.
I was, I was not having it. I'm like, I don't get paid enough. So in a moment of, I don't know, stupidity or courage, I flung the door open and I was like, whoa! And there's this little old man walking up the stairs. Apparently the grandpa was home and was downstairs the whole time in his like workshop and fell asleep.
No.
So I scared him. He scared me. I was like, I'm never babysitting for you people again. Why would you not let me know that there was a man in your basement that might, I don't know, pop up sometime? Like, I did babysit for them more. But that was frightening.
I'll be like, raise my rates.
Yeah, I was like, I demand $1 more an hour.
$1 more? I'd have been like, hi,
I'm gonna get $100 every time I babysit y'all kids.
I'm filing for mental damage.
So, yeah.
I'm keeping the Pomeranian.
No, that thing was real crazy.
Oh, your kid has that new video game system. It's mine now.
Video game system.
I don't know, like Atari? I don't know.
Okay, let's
A GameCube 64.
GameCube 64?
No, it's a Nintendo 64 or a GameCube. They're different things.
Oh, that hurt for a second. I was like, we have a GameCube.
We have a GameCube, but it's like...
Those have Nintendo.
We also have Atari, but that's a whole other story.
GameCube
is Nintendo.
Huh?
Have I raised you wrong? Did you just say that GameCube is not Nintendo?
No, so we also have a Nintendo Switch.
Oh, okay. I thought you said, but that's not Nintendo. And I was like, oof. All right, so that's my scary story. So, yeah, check the basements and check with the people you're babysitting for if there's any other, adult human type beings lurking.
Okay, so I'll go next. I'm debating which story to tell. I think I want to tell the orb story, but I don't know if I should tell that one or the tablet story.
The what?
The tablet story.
Oh, do the tablet one.
Which one do you think I should do?
Whichever one you want.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do a tablet story. Okay, so basically, my lovely older sister and older sibling, and I just cut that out. My lovely older sibling and I.
Steven, get that! Mama!
Okay, we're starting over. It's okay. Okay, guys.
Like editing.
Okay, the name of this story is Tablet Story because it sounds very innocent. Anyways. So, my older sibling and I. Older sibling, say hi.
Hello.
Oh my god. Anyways, so we were at our dad's house at the time. It was like 2 houses before the house right now. It was like quite some time ago. We were little, like, early elementary school years. Parents are divorced. Didn't notice that. That's why we were at our dad's. Anyways, so Grace and I, our room was upstairs. We shared a room. Our room was upstairs, and our beds were like across from each other, but like a weird diagonal way. Like there was the door directly across from the door on the other side of the room was my bed against the wall with room in between my bed and the closet. And then Grace's bed was like directly across from mine, but like over to the left more. If you're looking at it from my bed, it's to the left more. And anyways, Grace had this tablet and they turned it off every night before they went to sleep. That's just what they did. I don't know why, but they did. Our windows were closed, door was completely closed, and Grace's tablet was off. Per usual, said goodnight to each other, went to sleep. It was the middle of the night, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I woke up, and the door was closed, the window was cracked open, and Grace's tablet was on, and on the game, Crossy Road, with a new high score. And so, I'm, like, freaking out, panicking. I went running and jumped onto Grace's bed and was like, Grace, did you open the window last night? Did you play on your tablet some more? What? And Grace's like, no. Did you open the window? Clearly not. I'm asking you. No. And we were freaking out because we had no clue what that could have been. Our little sister was in a crib. She was way too little to have done any of that. My parents never came upstairs. Dad and stepmom never came upstairs. My brother wasn't home at the time. Our brother. And my grandma stayed with us for a while, but her and my stepmom had gotten in a fight. So she was staying at my aunt's house. And so it literally, we had no clue what could have happened. And to this day, we have no clue
It remains
what it was.
a mystery.
But that house was creepy. We would randomly, like, our stuff would just randomly go missing. It remains a mystery.
If you're the ghost in that house, I want my Hello Kitty alarm clock back, please.
Yes, exactly.
I'd like to think that ghosts listen to us, but...
And, if you're the ghost that was in that house, screw you for hiding Grace's phone underneath the box.
But congrats on the high score.
I mean, I guess.
It was 94. It was not that impressive.
Oh.
I got higher later. It's fine. Alright, that leaves me.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to name the story, because I don't have the mental energy for that. So, I have, 2 sisters at my dad's house.
Me.
Well, I have...
You take one with you, so...
I have Bunny, who is my full-blooded sister, and then I have Chloe, who is my half-sister. She is not my mom's kid. You are not the mother.
She is our father's semen demon with our evil stepmom.
Semen demon!
That one is not my monkey, not my circus.
I love Chloe. Anyways, so this is when Chloe was a little bit younger. She's 10 now. We used to have sleepovers. I don't know why we would do this, because we all lived in the same house anyways. But we would all take our blankets, our pillows, and we would go in the living room, and we would sleep. It used to be on the couch, but then our stepmom stopped letting us sleep on the couch for whatever reason. So on the floor.
That's just a sister thing. You've done that a bajillion times at home.
I don't understand it. My back always hurt.
Do you not remember the Island of Love? All the furniture.
But that was a couch.
It was like a couch, a lounge, and we had like 3 pieces of furniture all squished together.
But like, that's like cushy. That's not the floor.
Yeah, well, you know, you're young then.
So, it's like one of our sleepovers, you know, I roll over, and I feel like my hair, not all of my hair, but like a couple strands of my hair, like snag on something, and I'm like, oh, one of them probably like rolled over onto me, it's fine. But then I can't shake this feeling that somebody is looking at me. You know, like when you can feel it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like trying to fall back asleep, and I'm like, who is staring? What is happening? So...
What is my life?
I roll over and I kind of like, I open my eyes a little bit. And my, at the time, 6-year-old sister is standing above me with a big ass knife.
I remember this.
And I was like, hi, Chloe. And
You're pretty.
She goes, cheese. Cheese.
Like a true Wisconsinite.
So, she had gotten in the habit, apparently, well, we were gone that week, of eating cheese in the middle of the night.
Like you do.
So, what she was intending to do here was wake me up and ask her to cut her some cheese. What she did do is just stand above me with the biggest knife out of the block and whisper the word cheese at me. So, I get up, follow this 6-year-old in, like, some, like, straight-up Sophia the First pajamas into the kitchen with this big, like, literal butcher knife.
You didn't take the knife from her?
She just, like, started walking towards the kitchen.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, following a 6-year-old with a giant butcher knife, nothing can go wrong.
And so I get in the kitchen, and there's, like, the hood above the oven, like, the light on the hood was always on. So there's just, like, a single block of cheddar cheese just sitting on the oven with this light on. And I was like, I'm gonna get murdered in front of a block of cheese because Wisconsin. So,
well, no, because she would have had to wait till you finished cutting the cheese, at least, and then you had control of the knife.
Well, so she like, okay, so, part of this issue here was that the block of cheese was not yet opened.
Okay.
And so she just, like stabs the cheese and, like, just stabs the knife into the package, turns around and looks at me and kind of goes, cheese. And I was like, ma'am, it is 3:30 in the morning.
I did not sign up for this.
So I cut her a couple pieces of cheese. I set the knife in the sink. I don't wash it. It's 3:30. I am not vibing with this knife. So I just set it in the sink and I walk away. Like, the sink has other dirty dishes in it. I'm like, dying. Sorry.
You're not allowed to die.
Choked
okay?
on my saliva. I'm like, if I wash this knife, then I have to wash all the dishes, and that's like a lot of work. And also, like, if I wash the knife, I could wake somebody up. So I just set the knife on top of all of the other dishes.
Dude, I don't think anybody's judging you for not washing that knife.
And I go to bed. And I dream that this child has murdered me.
I mean,
and
that's
I wake
valid.
up in the morning, and I go to get my normal bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or whatever cereal it was we had in the house. I realize there aren't any spoons, so I go to wash a spoon, and I look in the sink, and the knife is not there. I do not know where that knife went to this day.
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure she still has it, and she's waiting for the right time to cut my cheese.
Look, I mean, I gotta give her points for knowing what she wants, and being able to get it, and you can't fault somebody for wanting some, you know, I don't know, middle of the night cheese, I guess.
Be a normal Wisconsinite and just eat their shredded shit.
I suppose. I mean, if that was an option,
you wake up in the middle of the night and you go and you're like, cheese.
Okay.
Every Wisconsinite does it. You grab a handful of shredded cheese, you stuff that in your dry ass mouth, and you go back to sleep.
Okay, valid, but you know better. You're a 6-year-old. You see shredded cheese or a giant block of cheese. Which one are you going for?
The shredded cheese, it's a
You're going for the giant block. Don't even try to tell me any otherwise, because you're like, that one's bigger, so I'm going for the jumbo one. And then I'm just going to go scare my sister away to slice this for me. I mean, I'm kind of surprised she didn't gnaw through the plastic and just, you know, go from there, but...
I don't know, man. I don't know. I have too many stories about that child. Like
so we can establish the fact that 6-year-olds with knives are not safe, correct? That's not it's a little safety issue there, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd take a clown with a knife over Chloe with a knife.
So we should probably, because we do love all of our listeners, we should probably give them some Halloween safety tips.
Be safe and don't run with a cheese knife.
Cheese knife. So I learned on TikTok a brilliant safety thing that I don't know why I've never thought of it or heard of it. But if you are stranded somewhere or just in a sketchy kind of position and your battery is running out on your phone, change your voicemail message, the outgoing voicemail message, to let people know where you're at and what is going on. Because after your phone dies, that information, when they call, they're going to get your voicemail and they're going to hear what's going on and be able to find you or help you.
Actually, fun fact.
Yeah?
I saw that video, but I also stumbled across a first responder.
Yeah.
On TikTok as well.
Mm-hmm.
They said, please do not do this.
Why?
Because you need service to change your voicemail.
Yeah.
So if you don't have service and you go to change your voicemail, you're wasting that last little bit of battery.
Okay,
on something
that's
that's
valid.
not going to work.
Okay, but if you have service...
If you have service, do it.
Do it, okay.
If you do not have bars, do not do it. Call 911, say help when the receiver drops because your phone has died. They will pick up the location. They won't.
Right. If you call 911 anytime...
Yeah.
And it's a true emergency, drop the phone. Because if they don't get a response from you, they have to show up.
And to that point, you do not need service to call 911.
That's true.
You don't need a single bar to call 911.
Or to apparently run your Google Maps after it's already mapped that location. That thing is magical.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to happen like a tornado, but...
I don't know.
Call Google Maps.
Okay, so you're at a party. What's my biggest thing I tell you guys?
I don't care what time it is. I don't care how drunk you are, what you've done. I don't care if there's like cocaine actively on your nose. Call me to pick you up. Do not drive under the influence of anything, or if you don't feel safe doing so, or if your ride, who is supposed to be a designated driver, is no longer designatedly sober.
I'll go get you. Ask questions later.
Yep, I will not.
I'll let you puke.
Yep.
Hell, I'll let you sleep it off a little bit.
Yep.
In the morning, we'll talk.
Over breakfast. Yes. And then number 2.
Watch you drink.
Watch you
drink. If you haven't seen it poured, don't drink it.
Yes.
If you've at all taken your eyes off of that cup, do not drink it.
Don't give it to somebody when you're going to the bathroom. Literally bring that shit in there or give it to someone you trust.
Yes.
Not only that, but if you do, just forget to do that and you go back to your drink, make sure you examine it hellas before you drink it.
Get a new drink. Don't even. I don't care if that vodka cranberry was $20.
It's probably not if it came in like a solo cup.
I don't know, man. Frat boys are getting ballsy.
Yeah.
Also, remember, it's okay to say no. No means no.
No is a complete sentence.
Like,
you don't need to...
You don't need to explain yourself. Yep. And if somebody puts their hands on you in an inappropriate manner, it's okay to knock the shit out of them.
That is true.
You don't have to drink if you're not comfortable drinking.
Yep.
Don't feel pressured to do anything you don't want to do.
Yes.
Don't sneak out of your house. Literally, I would just... Even if you know you're going to get your ass whooped... If you're going to leave the house in the middle of the night, you should at least leave some sort of note just in case your parents find the fact that you're gone. Like, some sort of something. Or just be like me and be like, Mom, I want to go do this, and just explain it.
Yeah.
Always travel in a group.
Hope for the best.
Never go to your car alone late at night. If you have to be alone and there's nobody to walk you with it, make sure you're on the phone with somebody.
I do that all the time. Wear
reflective lighting, like reflective gear. If you're going out trick-or-treating, watch crossing the streets.
Don't ever go inside somebody's house when
you're
trick-or-treating.
Good call.
If you are a parent or for some reason, child or teenager listening to this, remember to always be with an adult or to always be with your kid. Make sure you're supervised and or being someone who is supervising somebody else. And even if it's not your kid and you see some, like, random little child running around lost or sobbing, be like, can I help you find your mommy? Like,
and if you're not trick-or-treating and some weirdo offers you candy, don't take it.
Even if you are trick-or-treating, stay away from the white vans and any other color.
Remember that your stuff can be replaced. If you get cornered, give them your wallet. It doesn't matter in the long run.
Very true. Very true.
Also... I've seen many, many stories of people trying to, like, put, like, needles and random stuff in candy before giving it out. Just, like, mess with, like, the packaging on your candy. Don't eat anything if it's open.
Right.
Check it. Smells weird, looks weird, is expired.
I think parents can still take it to a police station to get checked. There's a lot of places that still will x-ray it for you.
Take that shit on, on like the pickle jars? No, but like on the pickle jars where they're like, if this seal is popped, do not eat these pickles.
Yes.
If this seal is popped, do not eat that Snickers.
Seriously, it is not worth it.
And if you're on the phone with somebody because you can't get somebody to walk you to your car, that's when you're like, damn, my bow staff broke. I am so excited. My custom rhinestoned one, super spikes and poison, is coming tomorrow. Yeah, no, I know. Like,
It's
I'm just
okay.
having it on me for self-defense.
I got my nunchucks in my back pocket.
Yeah, no, my taser, still with me. Yeah, that 3 billion voltage one. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
Okay.
The ball electrocutor 3000. Yes. The disco balls.
Disco balls.
The disco balls. You know, like those like sciencey things where you like put your hand on it and like.
I hate those things. Yeah.
I love those things.
We
That's
had.
what your ball feels.
So. This would. We've lost her. So now would be the time where we would go through the weekly worst way to die. Do you guys want to do the weekly worst way to die, or should we skip it tonight?
Let's
Skip it.
Cheese knife.
Cheese knife is valid.
Clown.
Clown is
Clowning.
incredibly valid.
Okay, your turn.
Ooh, anything in a haunted house.
Okay.
Because
That's that.
but I'd be going down
Goodbye.
fighting.
Have a good night.
So on that note, do you want to be spooky, internet friends? We are Bones and Bobbins on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Pinterest, TikToks, which eventually we're going to have TikToks, basically any social medias, and you can just also find us at bonesandbobbins.com. And don't forget to rate and review our podcast. It pleases the internet gremlins, and that's how we show up in recommendations so that other morbid souls can find us. And we need you to bring forth the morbid souls for a reason. And on that note, let us leave you with some advice that you should never forget. Lock your doors.
And don't run with scissors.
Happy Halloween!
Oh, hell no.
Each episode of the Bones and Bobbins podcast is written and researched by Haley Pierson-Cox and Natali Hoyce. Our music was composed by Loyalty Freak Music. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Bones and Bobbins. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify, or check us out wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts so you won't miss a minute of our strange and creepy content.